I'm thinking, I think this is going to be my 500th video. Okay, so what I want to do with this one is, because it's coming up a lot, is getting safe in the body. Safe. The globe needs it. Okay, so that is central nervous system conduct. That's the subconscious undercurrent, the stuff that actually runs your life. Shh, don't tell the white coats. Okay, so, just kidding, they already know. Ooh, spicy. Okay, so when we can come into our own bodies, be our own sovereign advocate, it's not just a safety mechanism. You start seeing everything for what it is rather than what the world has told you to think about it. And that, my friends, is a threat to everything. That's why they don't want you safe in your body. They don't want you in any sort of genuine union. They work against it really hard, which is why they make genuine union a contractual binding agreement. Because once you realize you're probably not supposed to be hanging out with this person 24/7, you know, it's a little difficult to get out of, and then you think you gotta make it work, and then you do try to make it work, and then you're still at each other's throats, and it just goes to hell. Familiarity breeds contempt, darling. So it is, I'm just gonna keep shuffling because it feels good. I think it might be like my family always played cards on the holidays, so this feels nice and natural to me. So when we're safe in our body, what the world tells us to want sounds ridiculous. It sounds obscene, it sounds absurd, it sounds abusive, it sounds like enslavement. It sounds atrocious. And that's why most people avoid it. That's why people choose the trauma. It's not because, ooh, I just want to get away from the pain. No, I want to be on this fence line where I have access to a complete and utter destructive illusion so I don't have to face what's on the other side of the fence, which is reality. We have been told what reality is a fucking lie. The whole entire thing is a lie. The whole construct that the genuine populace has about reality is a farce. It's a lie. Everything. Every system structure set in place is built on a lie. Whatever it is. It's built on a lie. And it has to sustain that lie. And how it sustains the lie is creating trauma and division. Okay, so when you find yourself picking one side of the fence or the other, you're still in an illusion. Okay, so for those of you looking to get out, you need to prepare yourself, because this is where the ish hits the fan, and it does get real. When you comprehend that you have been pretty much enslaved, just given the illusion that you have it better than some third world country person, simply because XYZ. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna let it sink. Let it sink. Because it's And that's the other thing, is it doesn't require you to swallow a pill, because the truth doesn't need your participation. It just needs your observation. You do not need to spout the truth. It's right there, clear as crystal. You either were born here to exist here, or you were born to be enslaved. So you get a number, an entrainment camp with no real instruction manual from anyone on how this shit actually works. You're just told you have to do the thing, and that you don't have a choice, because this is how it works. You're like, how does it work? And they're like, that's none of your business, shut up and sign here. You don't need to wear your pretty little head over it, just sign it off. Sign it all away, fuck you. Now go work yourself into a tizzy to where your body's completely broken down into nothing. And then, you know, sorry about your fucking luck. Even though you did not want to sign up for this system, you had no choice but to be signed into the system, and then you just had to partake in a system that is so freaking corrupt. I'm not really seeing where it's going to end, but I hope that this is well documented for future generations, so we do not let this shit happen again, okay? The French are literally hosing their government down with poo right now. Ain't gonna hear that on no news, I tell you what. Meanwhile, we're still over here sifting through the Epstein files, which nobody's going to be held accountable, because our justice system is based off of biblical text. They don't punish child abusers in the biblical text. And when they do, they celebrate his birthday and fall down and worship. Mark 14:51, kids. Okay. It's not bad. It's fucking awful. Okay. As someone who grew up Catholic, I had to choke that down too. It was a miserable day. Miserable freaking day. Okay? So, we need to remember that the only people that we should be relying on are, number one, ourselves, and number two, the people that are directly in our neighborhood. Okay, and all the people not partaking in the Mas Cristo. Gonna wake up to that. I probably spent the day researching as to why the hell this guy was actually such a big deal. And it was the, you know, probably one of the OG Epstein Diddies of our time. That lasted 2,000 years, but whatever. Okay? Diddy said it himself. I'm like the son of God. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't lying. He just had access to the original context, or the original version. Had some sort of Greek translator in there telling him exactly how Christ lived, and he's like, alright, let's do it. Same with Epstein. He had his fingers in all kinds of science and education and yada yada yada. Doing what he did. So, we're starting to wake up to that. It's just, it's not going to be easy, because when you have Scarface, Sky Daddy, Binky, and Blanky, it's hard to let go of it, because it is a part of your stability. And when you've made it your entire life narrative, it's pretty traumatic when you have to realize that what you thought you were doing for the world was actually the total and complete opposite. That's a rough reality. That's a rough reality check. And then when you start to figure out that the people that are calling the shots on how the world actually operates are pretty brutal to us, and we've allowed it to happen because we were so busy, stuck in some narrative that we thought was going to save us, while just being raked over the coals by the people we let be in charge over us. Patriarchy and every single facet of it, anything hierarchical, you can basically call it genocide. Because when you have to give yourself self-autonomy, your sovereignty, your willpower, basically your entire battery over to a system that sees you as a number and a peg to keep in line, and they use their unpaid shills to do it. Happy 500th day episode. It's difficult. It's a tough pill. It's not even a pill. It's a whole freaking bottle in one swig, and you're like, now what? Now you get real about it. Now you start growing your own food. Now you start learning how to make clothes. Oh, God. I can sew on a button. So you find your niche, right? You find your niche. I lovingly call it that because wasn't he a nihilist or something? Damn close to it. Anyway. Probably should refrain from referencing old, dead, really rich white men, but right now we don't have access to much of anything else. We do. It's just, it's funny. We're literally reaping what we've sown. And blaming it on an entity that goes with the same blasted narrative. Satan did it. It's the devil. It's still your mythology. It's still keeping you stuck in the trap. And then you got the Satanists out there who claim to not be Satanists. But what they don't realize is that energy is real. And that when you uplift the narrative, you're still uplifting the narrative. Just like when people are like, it's a left wing or a right wing, you're still uplifting the narrative. Those people are on the same blasted team, uplifting the same narrative. Tango! So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting future. Nonetheless. I don't know if it's my faith in myself or faith in humanity, but something's growing. I have no idea. I have every faith that it's going to be okay. Whatever happens. Even if it doesn't, even if tomorrow they're like running the tanks through the streets, it's still going to be okay. It'll right itself. Because I am fully aware that this is just a meat suit. This is probably my last run, which I'm totally cool with, because what the hell. So, I have my son in the 12th house. So, rather than worry, fret, be scared, let the subconscious, the central nervous system rack me into anything, it's more of a coming to a safety, secure place in your own system and saying, you know what, I'm just going to do whatever I can. I'm going to do what I'm good at. I'm going to bring whatever lantern that I have to the world and not worry about the rest of it. I'm going to do how I approach every relationship in my life. I want to bring what I can to it and say I did what I could and I gave it my all and blah, 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 blah. And so it prevents a lot of sleepless nights. It really does. Because you're like, I didn't have to memorize the narrative. I didn't have to pretend pretend to be somebody I wasn't. And that's what keeps you awake at night. It's like, why wasn't me faking it like the world told me to enough? You were faking it. Don't fake it. And that's a hard thing to accomplish when you're under a narrative that is all about faking it. Faking reality, faking how things are manifesting in your environment. You know, the guy that gives the preaching every Sunday at service is diddling all the little kids and nobody's doing anything about it. You know what I mean? That kind of fake. So don't be fake. Okay? It's not good for your sleep schedule. Right, Faye of the Souls? Are you the sweetest, cutest? Yeah. You why not, baby? Come on. Yes, you can. Good girl. Faye of the Souls wanted to say something. So yeah, keep yourself sane. The hard truths, but it doesn't need to rule over your life. Right, Faye of the Souls? Okay, so remembering that, like, you're in charge of you and you can't control anybody else. You don't need to get mad or vengeful or anything like that. You just need to stay true to yourself. Keep sovereign, keep safe, and just keep shining for whoever needs to witness it, right? Give them permission to do the same. Just like, look at this lovely black thing that I can put all my hairs on. Yes, yes, yes. She did that to my black sweater last night. Okay, so it's not how can I put this? Because when you base your life on it, then it does control you, it does manipulate you, it does torture you, it does do this, that, and the other thing. And so all you can do for yourself is just forgive yourself for what you've done, right? Unknowingly. And start advocating for the people that are being harmed. Start advocating for them. Start telling people that what they're doing is producing this particular outcome. And people will get offended by that, just by you stating, hey, when you do this, this is what happens. And I mean, like, right now we have really good examples of it. We have really good examples of that, how that's conducting itself in, you know, when that lady did the calls with the 2-month-old baby crying in the background, and the churches were like almost rude to her. Some of them were really rude to her. Some of them hung up on her. So we don't need to dig so hard, but we do need to comprehend that each and every single religion has its harmful outcomes. And you know, the one that's under the most scrutiny because of the particular happenings of 9/11, they do need to be on their best behavior because they have been horrible in the past, and they do produce that. Sorry, Faye's got all kinds of hair all over my mouth. So they do produce a terrible outcome as well. It's just we turn a blind eye to it because, you know, it feels better than being in this cult. So just be mindful of those things that you're using to deal with life as a coping mechanism, so that the elites aren't pulling you into this a similar narrative that you've been told is just a better one. I mean, this is the death of religion that we're going through right now, astrologically, especially, which is so peculiar because I think that religion taps into astrology a little bit. At least you would think they would with the freaking symbolism they use. You would think, right, Fae of the Sows? You'd think, if you're going to have the moon and, Venus as your, whatchamacallit, as your symbology for your religion, you would know a few things about the movements, right? So just be mindful. Just be diligent and be vigilant about, because oftentimes we like that the juice gives, or the squeeze gives a little bit of juice, but you have to remember that everything that's written in those textbooks is now in your subconscious undercurrent, whether you like it or not, because the energy is all one. That each and every one of those particular religions, their narrative is all one narrative. And when you get around people who have actually read the textbooks and are totally cool with it, you're partaking in the uplifting of that energy, which is why those things keep happening in their communities. So just be mindful of the things that you believe right now. This is at a huge crossing road point of, we could do humanity a huge service, or we could, go extinct. Right? That doesn't sound like a good idea. You guys have busted your ass too hard and for too long to get us to this point, all for it to be in vain, right, Fae of the Sows? Yeah. So, yeah, and comprehending that, the real spiritual assistants, are not human. Right, Fae of the Sows? They are better connected than probably we will ever be able to be. Right, Fae? So allowing their divinity to be with us and honoring this amazing experience of having that privilege and the honor to exist with such lovely wild creatures. That's a domesticated. They used to not be, especially this lovely little girl, right? You are the closest thing to a feral. And boy, does she blend in. I'll look for her even in the green yard, and she just finds a perfect spot, sits down, and looks like a freaking just nature. So, and again, with the hairs. So, honoring all of life that's everywhere around you. Honoring everything. Not getting panicked about the systems that are being taken down right now, because that's what's supposed to happen. It just feels uncomfortable, it feels alerting, it feels torturous, because when things collapse, we've been told that when things are destroyed, that it's bad, it's terrible, it's awful, and it's not pleasant for people who depend on, being teachers for a living, that depend on being nurses for a living, that depend on income and whatever else. And cat hair in their face. I do truly believe that everything is going to work out. If we just keep our cool about us and don't give in. Sorry, I'm rubbing my face and I look like a... Ugh. I know. Just give me a sec. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's the... Okay, sorry. That was my chair not moving because it's not going to press up against the desk. So, keeping calm through the panic, and I know it's scary because, like, oh, what are you going to do for income? How are you going to pay the mortgage and whatever else? Being calm through that, staying sovereign, keeping, and learning what interdependence looks like. Realizing that there's people out there that, do good work and service and whatever else, and partaking with that and helping and assisting in ways that you never thought imaginable. I just started this class and I was like, oh my gosh, in this economy, what the fuck are you even doing? And I have people that I'm bartering with, but I've also had people that are paying. So it's coming along. It's cultivating itself. It just needs to be acknowledged by each and every individual, this unique experience that we can bring to life. And the things that I've cultivated for myself is knowing how to garden, knowing medicinal aspects, knowing about the planetary movements, to assess someone's health and all that other stuff. So don't panic if you don't have anything like that for yourself. Maybe you're really good at sewing. Maybe you're really good at animal care. Maybe you're really good at fixing furniture. Maybe you're really good at fixing cars. Maybe you're really good at sifting through paperwork. Maybe you're really good at taking inventory. Maybe you're really good at proficient at cleaning dishes. Whatever the hell it is, get out there and do it. Dishes, lady. Everybody thinks that doing your own dishes is some sort of slave thing. No, it's a way to keep yourself healthy. It's a way to keep yourself clean, healthy, happy. Right? It's a pathway. It's just another thing we do for ourselves to keep ourselves healthy. Who wants to eat off a dirty dish? Fucking gross. Right? So it's important that we have people that are good at that, which everybody should be. But maybe that's what you do in the community, right? That is an unwise choice, just saying. She's eyeballing the shelf up there. She's like, hey, unwise, darling. Lest we knock all the things off. What else? So yeah, getting safe in the central nervous system, talking with it and saying, okay, I realize you might be in a bit of a panic right now, but we're going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. We're going to roll through it. We're going to activate this deep inner remembering of what life was like before people told us that we had to be slaves. Okay, so just keep calm and maybe, stay off social media for a hot minute. Stop paying attention to politics too, because oh my god. That thing's crumbling like nobody's business. And again, voting isn't going to help. So if you're picking sides, you're automatically in the wrong. Automatically. And that's going to be a tricky thing to get people to wrap their heads around. When we have an entire country that is based on saviorism, letting go of that narrative altogether is going to be a feat of the human spirit, which I am so honored to witness, because it's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen. Okay? Pluto and freaking Aquarius. The rebel in the community. Okay. So just remember. Just remember your sacred, divine existence that has nothing to do with a man that died on a cross. Okay? It's always been in you long before that dude came along. Okay? Long before he came along. And long before the Hermetic story was cultivated. That's what the Abrahamic narratives are based off of. It's Hermetics. Long before that story was written, we were all sacred and divine. Period. The end. We just forgot, we lost it, and then got into a hierarchical patriarchy system. Okay? And it's falling away right now. And so it's going to cause disarray. It's going to cause panic. It's going to cause a lot of disruption. And it has nothing to do with what people deserve versus what they don't deserve. Epstein had a shit ton of money and a lot of friends and a ton of sex. So this whole narrative about that whole richness is a mindset. If you ask me, everybody above a certain tax bracket is automatically sus. There's only one reason why you would need that much money, and it's to pay off the families and the children to ensure their silence. Okay? Alright, I radiate joy just for, getting that spirit over here and which must... What does the spirit want the collective to know from this lovely little speech I've just given? Alright. I am the process of positive change. Boom. I allow myself to play and be silly. I love and accept myself exactly for who I am. And my power lies in my sensitivity. Oof. Yeah. And you can feel those energetic changes, not just in yourself, but realize it's happening on a collective level. Tap into that and let that be a guiding light, not just for you, but for yourself. Beam that stuff out into the ethos. You don't gotta say anything. The truth never requires anybody's participation. We just have to be willing to look at the fruit of the outcome. I love you. Keep your flame.